Okay, we're learning about HTML and CSS, creating websites. Been looking at Flexbox, and the course outline for the course that we're going through is right there. So if you want to get to it, you can take a look at it, that URL. And then the code repo is GitHub goes to 11, and it's a repository HTML CSS bootcamp right there. And follow me on Twitter so that you could stay up to date with front-end and back-end web development, among other things. Woohoo! All right, so we've been looking at Flexbox, and we were doing this example right here. And the resource I always like to consult for Flex is CSS Tricks Flexbox. And a complete guide to Flexbox CSS Tricks. So we've been looking at the properties for the children, the Flex items. There's order, which we haven't seen. But we saw Flex Grow, Flex Shrink, Flex Basis, and then Flex, which is shorthand for Flex Grow, Flex Shrink, and Flex Basis combined. Right? So you could use Flex and say Grow, Shrink, Basis all in one, and then align self. And so we saw all that. So here it'd be 0, 1, auto. So Flex Grow is 0, Flex Shrink is 1, and Flex Basis is auto. And auto just means whatever width has been assigned to it, that's the width the basis should be. That's basis. And so the last thing we really have to look at in all those is order. And I have an example of order in our code base. 31, so we're in 0, 31, 0 items. There's align self. Here's order. And so here's order. Split vertically. So you can see this has the order of alphabetic order, right? And they have IDs, A, B, C, whatever. And I could change that order. And so here I'm saying £NN is going to be item 1. So that's actually going to be the top of the list. So I'm changing the order. £MM is going to be 2. I can make MM3 and LL2, right? And so it's going to be NLM from top to bottom. NLM. So that's really pretty amazing that you could change the order of something just like that with order. Okay, so that's Flex order. Not a big deal. Anybody want to try it? Raise your hand. You want to try it?
I'm wondering how that would affect when you use flex direction row reverse. Or column reverse.
You just have to think that through, right?
Does order respond based on that direction, or?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So if our right here we have flex flow, column wrap, border, and we haven't done any kind of stuff. So if we're a column, justify content operates on the column. So we have justify content, and we could do that's it. There's no reverse, right? So reverse is the reverse on flex direction. We have column reverse, okay? So we could have, so we could just take this and put it up there. Column reverse. So it's going to be column reverse, which means it would normally go NML. And then let's just take out the N. And so, well, that's going to be the same thing. Let's take out the M. Let's take out all this. Okay? So now it's just going to be N through A because it's column reverse. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so now let's change the order. And we're saying the order is N is 1. Well, that's already what we've got. Whoa. But the order is N is 1 down here, right?
So order and then the direction.
Because it's reverse, yeah. So that's a good question. What's up, Teresa? All right, so that's order. Let's see what else we have on the docket. So here are all the properties for items, flex items. And we already took a look at Flexbox Froggy. Y'all want to play that together? I say let's play it together. You You want to play it at the same time? Let's all start up Flexbox Froggy. And this will be a lesson for all of us. So we need to get the frog onto the pad. And if I did not have that, the frog's not on the pad. But when I put justify content flex end, right, display flex, justify content flex in, it puts it on the pad. Justify content operates on the primary axes. The primary axis by default is row. Okay, flex direction by default is row. And if we look at CSS tricks, Flexbox container flex direction, the default is row. So if we don't even mention it, it's got flex direction row already. So let's do next. You ready to move on? You doing this with me? You doing it, Alex? Flexbox Froggy? Doing it? Preet? Everybody got the first one? I think some are still getting there. Raise your hand if you're ready for me to go on. Ann, ready for me to go on? Preet? Alex? Cool. Let's do the next one. So we got to get both those frogs there. And all we have so far is display flex, means flex direction is row. I'm going to think justify content center. Yay! 2 of 24. So far, so good. I'll ask you guys the next one. Or I'll wait for you to do it. So go to 3. All right, y'all do 3. I'll give you 20 seconds. 30 seconds. All right, so I'm thinking this is justify content again. Default is row, right? Flex direction is row. Justify content operates on the primary axis, which is a row. And this is going to be space between or space around. And I'm thinking since it's not right against the walls, it's going to be space around. So I'm going to do justify content space around. How many got that? Nice. So if you need to, you can look back to these terminologies things, right? Like flex direction, flex wrap, flex flow, justify content, space around. Bet you the next one's going to be space between. There we go. So we're on number 4. Justify content, space between. There we go. We're on, how many people got it? Okay, we're on number 5. Somebody want to get the door for Teresa there? All right, so 5 is a little bit of a challenge, a new challenge. So 10 more seconds. All right. So we have display flex. That's all we've been given, which means that flex direction is row by default, which means primary axis is row. Cross axis is a column or vertical. Align items works on the cross axis, which is the vertical. So I'm going to do align items flex end. How many got it? Cool. Cool. Robert?
Yeah.
You got it? Yeah? We're on number 6. Ann, you get it? Preet? You liking it? Alex? So this is going to be, oh look, it gives you a big hint up above. Combination of justified content and line items. You see the hint up there in the white text? So I'm going to do justify content, center, align items, center. Justify content brought it over horizontally center, align items brought it over vertically center. The one thing it's not shown here is this is the entire flex container, the pond. It's got to assume that. On to number 7. So it's going to be, you want to do it? Let me have you type it in. You type it in. You learn by doing. Type it in, baby. Dear Lord, now I'm like, could I get in trouble for just having said baby? Can I get in trouble for just having said dear Lord?
I've had a teacher go over swear words, it's fine. I think.
I think it kind of depends on what
That was a really cool teacher.
Like if you have somebody that's nitpicky and goes and says something, then yeah, maybe you get in trouble for something like that. But otherwise, I've had multiple teachers that are fine with just cussing out loud in class, no problem.
I think what you specifically said, it's all about context, so I don't think you get in trouble for that.
Yeah. Yeah, vibe's important. Context is important. All right. How many got this one? Great. You guys have the fundamentals really well. So we're going justify content, and that's going to be space around, and align items flex end. How many people love Flexbox? Isn't Flexbox awesome? Man, so great. All right, so ponder this one using flex directions, the hint, and gives you the settings there. So I'm going to do flex, direction, row, reverse. On to number 9. Again, using flex direction. So flex, direction, call them. Now it's saying get them in the right place with flex direction and justify content. Use flex direction and justify content. Flex direction, justify content. How many people have it? Number 10. Dominic's got it. Nathan's got it. Steve, you getting there? Cool. Alex, you got it? Preet, 10. Ann? Robert? Teresa, are you on 10 with us?
Oh, you got we're on 10? Okay.
On 10. I got a few behind. So use flex direction, justify content to get frogs and lily pads and red pads. Cool, you got that? Yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking. That looked right to me.
Wasn't doing it though.
Go to CSS tricks and look at, make sure we got the spelling and everything right. So go look at justify content. Justify content is flex start. So let's try that.
Oh, that's what I
I
had.
thought that's what you had too.
Is this correct?
Flex direction. Row reverse, justify content, flex start, flex direction, justify content, flex direction, row reverse. Yeah, is that what you did like that?
I just assume because it was flipping around the red one's point.
Oh,
Just
flex
put it
in.
into
Oh, because it's
the
reversed.
opposite.
There you go, flex in. That's good thinking.
Yep. Cool.
Yay. Okay, so now they're getting a little tricky. So we're going to do row reverse on this one and flex end because the end, everything got reversed. So the end is now the beginning and the beginning is now the end. So row reverse, flex end, and thanks to Nathan for that solve. So you got that, Teresa?
Yeah.
The next one is down there, using flex direction and justify content, get the frogs on their lily pads. All right, so flex direction, I'm thinking column,
Yeah.
just straight up column, and flex end. Going on to 12. So I look at this, flex direction and justify content, and give it a try. Doing number 12. How many people have it? Cool. So I'm thinking flex direction is going to be column reverse.
Oh,
And then justify content, which operates on the primary axis, which is a column, is going to be space between. And not space around, because we just want them to all be on each end, right against the wall. So column reverse and space between. On to 13. Flex direction, justify content, and align items. So now we're going to be moving things horizontally and vertically.
this one was kind of tricky.
Rock around the block because I'm tricky. Tricky. So weird. All right, so this one, flex direction. I'm going to do a row reverse, turn those frogs around, and then justify content operates on the primary axis, which is a row. So I'm going to do center them. And line items operates on the cross axis, which is the column. In this case, I'm going to do flex end. How many people got it? Nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So now they want us to do order. So display flex. And then yellow has a class of yellow. And so, you know, how are you going to set order? So yellow gets on its pad. Play with it. Type in order, colon, give it a number, see where the frog goes.
So one this way, minus one this way. So where it starts is always 0. So they put one moves one this way, 2 moves this way. I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay. So, but it sounds easier to just do what I did.
So there, that's 0.
So which one is on 0?
Yellow is 0.
Oh, okay. 'Cause yeah.
So whatever one you're working with is 0.
Yeah.
So 0, 1, 1, 1.
This one doesn't make sense to me.
Move it 3.
Order base level is 0. So all the other objects keep their level of 0.
You'll see.
They stay in the order they were in on the document. And then yellow gets pushed to 1.
Yeah, but wouldn't 1 overwrite 0? Oh, I guess
Yeah, you're modifying.
I guess I'd have to set, these are still 0, 0, so I'd have to set these to 2, 2 if I wanted them behind.
Yeah. Or
I
you
get
can
it.
set it to negative.
as the next one asks.
Oh, -1. Cool. Thanks. Everybody got it? All right, Robert just gave us the answer to this one. Order -1. I wonder if that's actually said that you could do negative values here at this. Order just some integer. $16. Everybody give 16 a try. Who's on 16 with me? Raise your hand. Cool. I'll let you work it for a minute. Yay. You got it? Cool. Well done. Well done. Teresa just showed me the answer, but let's reason it through. So we have a container, display flex, align items, flex start. So align items operates on the cross axes, which means that the default is flex direction row. Primary axis is row horizontal, cross axis is vertical. So align items is operating on the cross axis, putting everything at flex start. We could do align self flex end and get it on the bottom. 17. Use order and align self. You got it. Cool, you got it. Alrighty, on the next one. Cool. All right, so order on this one, just give it a 1, move them all to the end, and align self, flex end. Pretty amazing.
How come giving it an order of 1 moved them over enough?
All items started at order level of 0, so order 1 makes the original on document saying the order was, and then order 1 goes to the end.
There's -1. -1's before 0. Here's 1. 1's after 0. So the greens are all 0 by default. -1 puts him front. 1 puts him after.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know why you wouldn't just modify the HTML, but
So flex, wrap, wrap. And then, yeah, that's good. Next. Flex direction, flex wrap. So I'm thinking column, wrap. Everybody got that one? So now they want us to use flex flow to do the same thing. It'd be kind of cool to do column reverse to see what happens. What? Nothing.
It already ran perfectly.
So now align content. So display flex, flex wrap, align content, flex start. So align items aligns items, align content aligns rows of items. So align content, flex start. Align content, flex in. And 23. Trippy. We want us to use flex direction and align content. So right now we have display flex and flex wrap wrap, which means we're a row. Primary axis is horizontal, cross axis is vertical. It's wanting us to use flex direction. So that tells me it wants us to make it a column. So let's make that a column first and see what we're working with. And we could do a reverse. So that looks pretty good. And align content operates on the primary axis. Let's center it. Mostly I reasoned that one through by what they asked me to use. How many people got it? Dom and Nick? Cool. Column reverse and center. And bring the frogs home one last time by using the properties you've learned. So we could use any of these or all of them. Any. And it looks like we're going to slam everything against the right wall. And we need to do that with align items. And then we're going to maybe align self-sum against the other wall. Or wrap them. Since those two yellows are at the end, if we wrap, right? Maybe make them all a column. But we need a column reverse because the red is at the bottom. So let's start out with flex direction column reverse. So that's looking good. Now let's bring it over to the right. And so that's going to be align items because the primary axis is a column, vertical. That's what justify content works on. Align items works on the cross axis. So we're going to do flex end. And that brought them over here. And then we could add flex wrap maybe. Or we've got them centered. If they're centered, so what did flex wrap do? So if they're centered, I'll let you work it. I'm going to work it. That way I won't be talking and confusing you. Who's got it? Robert? Ann? You got it? Dominic? Nathan? Steve? Alex? Preet? Teresa still working it? So we got 2 people working it still.
This one's,
A little bit tricky.
yeah.
Let's work it together. So how did you all approach this when you started thinking about, for those who got it? Anybody want to share? Or you want to hear me reason it through?
First of all, just looking at what's available, you can all automatically disregard order and align cell since you're applying it to the entire pond. Then flex flow takes the use of flex wrap and flex direction, so you really will need flex flow. Align content does functionally the same thing as align items in this case, so that'll do it. And then
Oh, that's what I was missing.
justified content as well.
All right, so flex direction or flex flow, either one. Flex flow is going to be column, reverse, wrap. I like using flex direction. Column, reverse, and flex wrap. And so if that's a column, justify content operates on the column. We could do center and align content. Space between, is that one of them? Perfect. I just have to reverse it. So I need to inverse the order. Justify content is center. Align items. My choices on align items. Flex start, flex end, center stretch, baseline. I've got order, but I don't have anything to apply it to the yellow ones. Line self, how do I apply it to the yellow ones? Flex wrap is wrap. What happens if it's no wrap? That doesn't do anything. Flex flow is flex direction and flex wrap. And align content is space between flex direction. What am I missing?
What options are under flex wrap?
What about row reverse?
Wrap, reverse. Wild. Thank you. You get the options if you're right here. Gives you the options. Flex wrap. No wrap. All right, that's a cool exercise.